The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. While Jesus was speaking to the crowds, a Pharisee invited him to dine with him, so Jesus went in and took his place at the table. The Pharisee was amazed to see that he did not first wash before dinner. Then the Lord said to him, "Now you Pharisees clean the outside of the cup and of the dish, but inside you are full of greed and wickedness. You fools, did not the one who made the outside make the inside also? So give for alms those things that are within, and see, everything will be clean for you." The Gospel of the Lord. St. Paul continues his letter to the Galatians. We're in chapter 5, and he's dealing with some Jewish converts who are now Christian, but maintain that for Gentiles to come into the Christian faith, they have to keep the ceremonial aspects of Judaism, the works of the law, as St. Paul calls them, circumcision, dietary, and the like. St. Paul knows that's not true, and he has to argue with them, and he's doing so throughout the letter. In chapter 5, he says that whoever lets themselves be circumcised is obliged to obey the entire law. Now, St. Paul also said in Romans chapter 3 that no one ever has been able to keep the entire law. So his conclusion is you cannot be saved by simply keeping the works of the law, the ceremonial aspects of the Torah. But he doesn't let everyone off the hook and say you can do whatever you want, which would be license. He concludes today's first reading by saying the only thing that counts is faith, working through love. Now he's combined faith with works of love. And he's referring to the moral code of the law, the Ten Commandments, the natural law ingrained in our hearts, that you must keep in order to obtain salvation. So he's not saying complete license on the one hand, nor is he saying legalism on the other. Legalism would be keeping the works of the law, the ceremonial aspects. But we see how this manifests itself in the gospel. We have a living example of it where a Pharisee invites Jesus to come and dine with him and is utterly amazed that Jesus does not keep the works of the law, the ceremonial aspects of purity and cleanliness. He doesn't wash before eating. But Jesus knows what's in their heart, and he knows that the Father judges people by their heart, not by the externals. And so he calls them fools and says, "Did you not know that the one who made the outside made the inside also? So give for alms those things that are within, and see everything will be made clean for you." He's saying it's the heart that matters. It's what a person is created to live out, which is the moral aspects of the law. St. Paul will really delineate here something that our modern culture is struggling with. We have two senses of freedom in today's culture. The one is called freedom of indifference. Freedom of indifference means the complete license to choose between two contraries without any rules, no limits, nothing except the person's choice. That is what now governs our culture. The other, which is the Catholic teaching, is freedom for excellence, choosing the good in conformance with the revealed moral law toward the goal of attaining true flourishing and happiness. So the deliberate choice for the good, that's what we're called to. Not just license for whatever we wish, which leads to destruction, but this deliberate training of ourselves always to choose what is pleasing to God, the moral law. And we're made for that. God knows we will be only happy when we live that out, because then we are activating what's deepest in our heart, that is, imaging God's true nature. So let us continue then, living this freedom for excellence, keeping the commandments, not out of obligation, but out of joy. Let's take what the psalmist says in Psalm 119 to heart. I will keep your law continually forever and ever. I shall work at liberty, for I have sought your precepts. I find delight in your commandments because I love them. I revere your commandments, which I love, and I will meditate on your statutes. Let us pray.